What's going on? My name is Grizzy, and today we have a coaching video that aims to help you guys to improve at Apex and to gain higher ranks. This last split in Apex Season 8, I ended up as the 347th Apex Predator on PC, also without playing this guy.
Surprise, mother.
So I am going to try to help you guys to improve with my knowledge on landing locations, rotations, and the best ways to approach fights at all stages of the game. We have two different players from the Bears Den community being showcased today, and if you guys are interested at improving at the game of Apex, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and join the Bears Den Discord. I will post the link in the description below. With that being said, let's get into these clips and let's get to coaching. So we are going to start off here with Rev. He submitted this from Kings Canyon. Now keep in mind guys, we are going to do Olympus coaching as well. It is later on in the video, so don't click away if you don't see Olympus. I just want to cover something really important here. So a lot of times people think that you need to be the most consistent in game, to maximize those points to get your rank up in Apex Legends, but that's actually the complete opposite. You need to be really consistent in your early game. So even those games that you do, miss out, you have bad luck in mid game, at least your early game is always on point. You have a location that you're very comfortable landing at. And so we're going to go over Rev's landing and their first fights here. Crash Site has some of the best loot in all of Kings Canyon, by the way. So they got some teams here. It looks like they have one team coming down to this lower compound almost, and then there's a team landing up higher here as well.
Oh, I'm short.
So this is the first mistake that these guys make here is they're not landing height. They're giving up their height to another team. Typically here you want to have maybe somebody land middle and then two guys land on the left side. Height is always such an advantage in these FPS games. The left side is just a little bit better with the loot because it does have an explosive hold here at Crash Site. So they're really split up. They didn't really land together. You need to be pretty close. You don't want to be right on top of each other, but you do want to be within rotating range to help somebody out if they do need your help. You can see that there's two coming from the middle, and then there's a guy flanking around the right side here. Now right here is a great place to play. You have this explosive hold to your left to give you some cover, and then you can kind of fire shots in towards the middle. But you do have a P2020. You also have an EVA 8, which is a really good close range weapon. What you need to do here is Tails. If you look in your top left map, Tails is right behind you. The Bloodhound is behind you. He is doing the same exact thing, looking for those two enemies there. What you need to do is you don't want to be looking at the same line of sight at the same exact location as a teammate. So I would Octane Stem and try to run to the back left part of this area and see if there's a gun there. There's usually lots of guns in this area. You can be covering with line of sight this way at this angle. Tails can be here with this line of sight, and Gray can be over on the right side covering here as well. 3 different areas you guys are covering, multiple entrances. You guys are spread out, but you're also close enough to help each other.
Yeah, right here. They're peeking me. White armor.
All right, so right here, they catch the Caustic off guard. First off, I don't know what this Caustic's doing. This is a really poor play on his part. One thing that I also want Rev to think about when he sees this Caustic here, you need to think about your current positioning and where those enemies are positioned on this man's team. So what you're thinking right now is while you're fighting this guy, those two enemies are gonna push through to try to go towards Tails. So you need to be cognizant of the other team coming behind you. You do not want to go too far down on this ramp, because then you won't be able to help Tails if they get to the team. So that is one big thing, is positioning. These other two guys are going to push through while you're fighting this Caustic. Stay high ground, stay over by this wall right here. That way you can put shots on him and immediately turn around, help out when they push Tails, your Bloodhound.
Knock.
So they get the knock here. And then if you watch what Horizon does, Horizon kind of throws this fight here because you can see Tails is taking damage.
Nice.
You want to make sure you're keeping track of your teammates as well. Gray has Horizon's lift ability. Gray can lift both him and Rev. What I want to see Gray do here is I want to see Gray talk and communicate and say, hey, take my lift, take my lift, take my lift. And you and Rev both lift up and go and help Tails immediately. You know they had white armor. It's going to be a fair fight. Instead, Gray drops down and Gray is going for the thirst. He's really wanting that kill point, and that's really not that important here. You also have to realize that there are other teams in the surrounding area, and they did not look at the other areas like artillery. They did not look at spotted lakes when they were flying in, so that is another tip as well. Always, always, always when you're flying in, look at the other POIs in the surrounding areas, because this is what's going to happen. This fight's taking too long. They're going to get third-partied, and it's not going to go as planned. The major overview and highlights for this review is to land high ground if possible and somewhat close to your teammates. Also, make sure you're looking at the surrounding POIs. That way you can see where you need to rotate, which rotation's safer, or potentially if there will be a third party coming in from that area. Take advantage of enemies that stray away from their team and have multiple players push that player that strayed away from the team. Focus on team positioning and also don't take the same line of sight as your other teammates. Finally, when you get the first knockdown in a fight, use numbers to your advantage. Get back to your teammates and swarm the remaining 2 players. Do not get too hungry for the thirst. You're gonna get that kill once you win that fight. Next, we have this clip that is submitted from JJ Tooley. He is Platinum 1 and he has reached Diamond level. If you take a look at the video just starting out, he has 5 kill points. There's 7 other teams and round 1 is closing in. It looks like they're getting shot. They're on the defensive. What I want to just quickly point out is you guys do not need to take this fight. You need to be on the rotation, maybe even rotating earlier so you do not get put in this situation. One major tip with Olympus and rotations, you need to stray away from Turbine, stray away from Hammond's Labs, away from that waterfall. Try your best to rotate around the outskirts of the map. Typically with Olympus, it is so small, it gets so bunched up in the middle of the map. There are going to be so many third parties and it's going to be so much more difficult. So here I want to see those guys rotating more kind of towards docks on that side of the map and getting to the ring that way. Now Octane goes down early. He needs to be trying to hold for that Gibby so he can dome and try to throw his ult and then revive. And Gibby does the right play, throws his ult. I really like this head glitch position that he has. Really, the enemy can only see his head right here. It is great for him to work around this cover. So stay here, crack those Bangalore shields, keep cracking those enemies that are pushing up, and try to rotate back towards that bubble. Stay in the bubble and defend it with your life so you guys can get up and so you guys can rotate out as quickly as possible. Now what Thule does here is he gets greedy. He's not playing for the team right now. He's playing for the 1v1. He is trying to take the 1v1 and win this fight. He's ego challenging this Bangalore. He knows he's better than this player. He knows he's got this Bangalore on the ropes. But right now, this is a team game. You guys have 5 kill points. You do not need to just be super aggressive and get this kill. You need to help Andy Cross, your Gibby, get that res on the Octane. So what I'd like to see here from JJ Tooley is once he cracks this Bangalore is going back to the left to heal up, and she's gonna have to defend herself against this ultimate ability. She's not coming. You need to rotate immediately to that bubble and use your flatline, use your wingman, fend off those enemies to help your teammates get up, and then hopefully once your Octane gets up, he can throw his jump pads and you guys can just get the heck out of dodge. The jump pad is super clutch at getting out quick. One thing in ranked, when you are fighting as well, you want to always try to be sticking with your teams. You do not necessarily want to force the 1v1. That is the major takeaway that I want you guys to have, is I want you to stick close to your teammate, take team shots, and call out which target you guys are firing at, and don't necessarily go out of your way to take that 1v1. If you lose that 1v1 where they have to face 3 targets and they only have 2 people on the team and they cannot count on you anymore.
God.
Just play as a team, communicate a little bit more with your team. I didn't really hear you talking to your teammates at all. be loud, be concise, and let them know what you're doing. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys want to be coached, make sure you join the Discord. Make sure you comment down below in the YouTube video, and I will know who is interested in maybe some future coaching sessions. And guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'm Grizzly, and I'm out. Peace.